Just having 4 minutes, Ms. Minto.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Walking into the Rockfield Centre in Oban, you cannot help but be struck by the bright primary colours, the warmth, the welcome and the creativity of the space. The Rockfield Centre is a shining example of a community driving positive change and achieving its ambitions through ownership and management of a building. Rockfield is in the centre of Oban. It was the town's response to the Education Act of 1872 being built as a school to educate around 400 children in Oban. The grand opening of Rockfield Primary School took place in 1877. Parents had been asked to present their children with clean faces and hands, and where possible, adequately clad. 145 years later, in June this year, the refurbished building's doors were officially reopened by the Minister, where I'm pleased to say everyone had clean faces and hands and were adequately clad. Oban Communities Trust was established in 2014 following a community campaign to purchase and save the building. The local community had identified a desire to establish a cultural hub which would support 4 themes determined through extensive community consultation. The former classrooms now host a programme of events, workshops and activities covering these themes, which are arts and culture, history and heritage, community wellbeing and education and enterprise. The Rockfield team work with local service providers to create activities which meet their needs. For example, Alzheimer's Scotland, Dementia Scotland, Enable Scotland, Young Carers and also health and education services. And in response to the cost of living crisis, the centre is part of the Warm Spaces initiative and in January are starting a free breakfast club for school children and free after-school club 3 days a week. There are also plans to create a traditional skills hub and funding is also being sourced to create a purpose-built sensory room. People at the heart of their community, recognising what their community needs and empowered to deliver. And in my opinion, this is the key to successfully growing community wealth as those opportunities come in all shapes and sizes. And slightly before this legislation, 10 years ago in South Kintyre, RAF Machrihanish Air Base was purchased by the community, securing its lifeline air service and providing Machrihanish Air Base Community Company with 1,000 acres of opportunity. Watchtowers, military bunkers, military accommodation blocks, even a parachute drying tower and a disused bowling alley, which is now home to the UHI Argyll's Brewster Construction and Engineering Centre, and they've also got so much land. Employment peaked pre-COVID at 252. There are 125 tenancies and direct spend on local contractors from MAC sits at £2.42 million. And also £75,000 has been donated to local charities. MAC are also progressing environmental aims by installing a solar farm and recently broke ground, helped by 6 local schools, on the 10,000 Trees project that will support the site's diverse wildlife. I was very pleased to host the Minister for Business, Trade, Tourism and Enterprise at MAC this summer. This is a success, but it could be so much more. Geography and perception hinder its development. MAC, its assets and Kintyre have significant potential, therefore continued and, if I might suggest, enhanced policy support to realise this is needed. In preparing for this debate, I spoke to Argyll and Bute Council, and they provided me with an outline of the work the Council is doing to support community wealth building. Argyll and Bute is strong in some areas, such as community empowerment, community assets and wealth generation, the circular economy, including procurement, but is weaker in other areas, such as local skills development and access to affordable finance. A study is being commissioned in partnership with HI and the TSI, which will help determine strengths and weaknesses in relation to a wellbeing economy in greater detail. And I welcome this work from the Council and look forward to analysing the report. Presiding Officer, to conclude, I've only highlighted 2 empowered organisations in my constituency, but there are so many more. So very quickly, South West Mull and Iona Development, South Isla Development and of course the hundreds of volunteers supporting community wealth growing, community empowerment and community wellbeing across Argyll and Bute. We must continue to have the courage to ensure our empowered communities have the right tools and support to be a powerful force in community wealth and resilience building that Scotland deserves.
Thank you very much, Ms Minto.